right. All right. Perfect. And there we go. We are live. Happy Friday the 13th. Hope everyone had a good day. Welcome to Randsanity on Friday the 13th, no less. Episode 257. 257 days I've done this in a row. I've not missed a single fucking day yet. Almost a year. I get told by TikTok all the time, you are beating 100% of creators. You've got 12 weeks straight. I'm just like, yeah, I know. It's like, you don't have to tell me that anymore. I've got that figured out. So happy Friday the 13th. So if you are ever curious as to where Friday the 13th, like that whole superstitious thing came from, there's three kind of big things. And I can't really tell you what the phobia is. It's triskaidekaphobia, like triskaidekaphobia, blah, blah, blah. That's what it is. That's the phobia. But Friday the 13th goes all the way back to a couple things. One, it goes back to Norse myth, like Viking gods, because there was 12 gods, and they were having a dinner party in Valhalla, and the trickster Loki was not invited. And he arrived as the 13th god and arranged for Hor, the god of darkness, to shoot Balder, the god of joy and gladness, with a mistletoe-tipped arrow. Balder died, triggering much suffering in the world, which caused the number 13 to be unlucky. Also, Christian association with it is that during the Jesus' Last Supper and crucifixion, there were 13 individuals in the upper room on the 13th of Nisan, Monday, Thursday, the night before his death on Good Friday. And also, in conjunction with Friday, there's no real thing, but the Knights Templar were arrested on Friday, October 13th in 1307 by the officers of King Philip IV of France as the original sort of origin of Friday the 13th superstition. But that remains murky. So there you go. There's your big reasons that people don't like Friday the 13th. So it goes back to Norse Christianity and the Knights Templar. So it's been around for a minute. So, if you don't like Friday the 13th, you're not alone. A lot of people don't, and it's been around for a long, 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 long time. So I wrote down the dates starting all the way from like 1925. So anything I talk about tonight, I'm going to double check the year and the date to see if it happened on Friday the 13th. All right? Seems reasonable enough to me. Or unreasonable enough to me. Oddly enough, my sister was born on Friday the 13th. Just not February. And there's at least one Friday the 13th every year. There can be up to 3. And there can be one in the same month. But it also means the month has to start on a Sunday. I'm just saying. I read all this shit because I was like, all right, I'm reading every Thursday to know about Friday the 13th today. All right. Well, let's see what happens in music today. First, let's go and talk about the Foo Fighters. So the Foo Fighters uploaded snippets of their possible new album on their interactive website homepage. So they've allegedly been working on the follow-up album, but here we are now. From 2023, posting previews of songs on social media. But the band has gone the extra mile as of February, dropping 10-second snippets of 11 tracks for a possible new album. The band updated their official website with an interactive homepage today designed to look like the bedroom of a Foo Fighters mega fan. The walls are decorated with photos, posters, and stickers. Several photos are clickable, playing a short clip of new music with a promising outlook for a forthcoming album. So, yeah, I went to it. It's pretty dope. Each interactive item on the homepage is a black and white photo that regains its color when hovered over or clicked. There's an image of a guitarist, Pat Smear, as well as a bassist, Nate Mendel. In the top left corner is a photo of frontman Dave Grohl and a couple more images featuring the entire band on stage. Most of the snippets are unreleased instrumentals, but 2 feature vocal previews. Foo Fighters also posted a look at the new website on their Instagram page. Consider this an evaluation, the caption read. The post included a view of the new homepage overlaid with one of the clips. Fans took to the comments to share excitement for the new music, with several posting reactions, GIFs featuring Dave Grohl and the multiple times he dressed in drag. One fan noted a hawk sticker on the side of what looks like to be a dresser or a desk in the fabricated bedroom. It's very possible this is an homage to former drummer Taylor Hawkins, who died in 2022. When clicked, the hawk becomes outlined with red and orange stars. Meanwhile, fans on Reddit speculated about the direction the new album could go in. One person suggested the recent material could be similar to Foo Fighters' 2005 album, In Your Honor. Another mentioned that it could be more like Wasting Light from 2011. Overall, it seems like fans are thrilled to be getting new music from the Foo Fighters. Theories are flooding the internet about when a full single will drop or when the album itself will drop. Who knows? So far, the buzz of anticipation in the Foo Fighters community continues to build, and the Foo Fighters keep teasing and teasing. So, come on, Dave. Give us some music. So I'm waiting for it. I'm a fan. I like the Foo Fighters. I always love telling the story that when he was playing with them Crooked Vultures, Dave Grohl and Josh Homme and John Paul Jones, they came into the radio station and everyone was like, oh my God, Dave Grohl. And everyone was like fawning over Dave Grohl. I literally was like, yeah, whatever. I'm talking to John Paul Jones. I went and hung out with John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin all day. Went backstage after the show, hung out with him. I was like, yeah, whatever, Dave Grohl. I'll see Dave Grohl again. Like, John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, I'm going to ask you every question under the sun. He was so nice. He was like this little English guy, he was like this big. I was like, yeah, I'm just hanging out with this guy because fucking Led Zeppelin legend. I'm like, yes. I was like, really? I'm like, yes, I've met Dave Grohl since and before and after. And I was like, that's great. But I've only got to meet John Paul Jones once. So, yeah, I definitely chose wisely with that one. Sometimes you have to kind of pick your battles. That was one of the battles I picked. I was like, yes, John Paul Jones. So there you go, Foo Fighters. Let's get some new music, people. All right, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, watch, and share. That's my list of things I have written down. See, because I write everything down. If you never believe me, everything's written. I handwrite everything. So I read all this stuff all day long, and I get all my info, and I write everything down. That way I don't just fumble through it. I mean, sometimes I fumble through it regardless, but shit happens. What are you going to do, right? Before I get to what's happened today, I'm going to also talk about Anthrax, apparently, is also, which is funny because they're unleashing a new album in May, according to the bassist Frank Bello, but they've been working on their new album at Dave Grohl's studio, which is kind of funny that Anthrax is doing that. But it sounds like the wait is over for the new Anthrax album. That won't be out much longer. It's coming in May. According to the band's longtime bassist Frank Bello, here it comes, May. It also teased that the new music they've been working on is so heavy. I was like, okay. Speaking to Long McQuaid's Dan Cagliano, Bello offered some insight into how things have been during the writing and recording of the band's forthcoming 12th studio album. The record will come out in May. I'm very proud. It's so heavy, Bello said. Some parts are really hard to play, which I'm happy to say because I like the challenge of it all. Joey's Belladonna Anthrax singer vocals. I don't understand how this guy could sing like that, but he's still killing it. And I'm very psyched. If you like the last two records we've come out with in the past stuff, I think everyone's going to be happy because as fans, we're very stoked. He continued, and it's been a while, guys, so thank you for waiting. It's been over 10 years since we released the last album, so we made sure that it's worthwhile. Bello also asked about Anthrax's creative process and whether it changed during the development of the new project. We had to get over the COVID thing like everybody else. We could have been one of those bands that were doing it over on a video because the lane scene #1, he replied. So we were jamming on something that could be half a second late. It's like, oh, and you lose the vibe. So we just sent files to each other and stuff like that. And then we got together and it was safe to get together. And then we told everyone it was safe. The three of us, Charlie, drums, Scott in guitar, and I got together and we all got our lives and started exchanging ideas, Bello continued. And from the files we've had, we went through it and said, what's good and what isn't good? Does that work? Doesn't that work? Back and forth. And then you go home again and see what works. Then we start putting melodies together, putting the lyrics together, and it's really like making a cake. It's really that easy. I don't know about that. Doesn't sound like it's that fucking easy. Mixing in some of the recording sessions for the Anthrax new LP took place at Dave Grohl's Studio 606. So the three of us got together. Scott and I usually go back and forth with a lot. Charlie comes up with a lot of great music, but I come up with all the music ideas in this one. And then the melodies, Scott and I would work on them. It's an open thing. Everybody can come up with ideas. That's an idea. And then the lyrics come to the top. Bella went on to say, and to get through it, to make sure as fans, we were doing this for a while, we cut out a lot of stuff. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Because you want the best, like everything else. Like Mom and my grandmother said, it's got to be the best. Work ethic. Editing is really tough and it's hard. Finally, he added, sometimes you lose parts that you love, but it's not good for the song, and it's all about the song, man. At the end of the day, that's all we're about. It's about the song, and it still is this day, period. So there you go. Anthrax, talking about making sure that their shit's good. So it better be great and heavy. Great and heavy. Since they said it's going to be great and heavy. I mean, right? Great and heavy. If you don't like Anthrax, that probably was a waste of your time. But hey, it's worth checking out, right? All right, let's talk about some history. Let's go back. I'm going to find some good stuff. I found some good stuff today. There was lots of fun things. Now, this one I didn't know at all. I was like, wait a second, seriously? Okay. So, 1960, Frank Sinatra launched his own record label, Reprise Records. I was like, no, it can't be the Reprise Records of today. Sure as shit, it is. In order to allow for more artistic freedom for his own recordings, hence he garnered the name the chairman of the board. So that's why they called Frank Sinatra the chairman of the board, because he fucking started Reprise Records. I had no idea. I didn't know where he got it from, and I didn't realize that he actually started Reprise Records. So one of the founding principles of the record label under his leadership was that each artist would have full creative freedoms and at some point complete ownership of their work. Reprise later was the home of influential artists such as Neil Young, Jimi Hendrix, Joni Mitchell, Randy Newman, and the Beach Boys. But I had no clue. I was like, huh. I guess it's because he wanted to buy a record label also and didn't get it. He didn't get it, the record label. So he started his own. And I never realized that till this day. When I read that this afternoon, I was like, wait a second. For fuck's sake. Because Reprise Records is still in existence today. It's one that actually hasn't been absorbed and sort of, co-opted by all these other giant mega labels, which is kind of wild if you think about it. So there you go. Reprise Records. Frank Sinatra started it. The chairman of the board. Learned all sorts of things today. Wrinkled my brain. And that's pretty good when I learned things about music. In 1967, on this day, the 13th of February, not a Friday, the Monkees announced that from now on, they would be playing on their own recordings instead of using session musicians. I think that's probably when it either got better or worse. I don't know which. I'm not really sure. In 1967, on this day, the Beatles released the double A-side single Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane on Capitol Records in the U.S. The single spent 10 weeks on the chart, peaking at number 1. The video for the track presented the Beatles' new group image, since all four now sported mustaches following Harrison's lead when he left for India in September of 1966. In the addition to a horseshoe mustache, John Lennon wore his round granny glasses for the first time as a member of the Beatles. So February the 13th is when John Lennon came out with the whole kind of like groovy, hippie kind of John Lennon-y thing. In 1969, also not a Friday the 13th, Bob Dylan recorded his version of Lay, Lady Lay at Columbia Record Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Lay, Lady Lay was originally written for the soundtrack of the movie Midnight Cowboy, but wasn't submitted in time to be included in the finished film. The song has gone on to become a standard and has been covered by numerous bands and artists over the years, including the Byrds, Rambling Jack Elliott, the Everly Brothers, Neil Diamond, Melanie, the Isley Brothers, Duran Duran, Hoyt Axton, Isaac Hayes, and others. I do like Duran Duran's cover. It's actually pretty good. I didn't listen to Isaac Hayes one, but I can imagine that's probably amazing. How could it not be? I mean, seriously, Isaac Hayes? Yes. Now, 1970 was a Friday the 13th, okay? So, Friday the 13th, Black Sabbath released their debut self-titled studio album on Vertigo Recordings in the UK, peaking at #1 on the charts. The album has been recognized as the first main album to be credited with development of heavy metal genre. So there you go. They thought about it and said, you know what? If we're going to be heavy metal, we're Black Sabbath, let's do it on Friday the 13th. So bravo. Thank you for thinking of that and not releasing Groundhog Day 2 weeks after Groundhog Day. Which I was like, that's so dumb. Why would you release the movie Groundhog Day 2 weeks after Groundhog Day? People. Now, the Osmonds, not on Friday the 13th, in 1971, started a 5-week run at #1, about as wholesome as you can get. Black Sabbath on the 13th in 70, the Osmonds in 1971. They were just the dynamic between the two just made me laugh. Sorry. They released their #1 U.S. single chart with One Bad Apple. The group had been appearing on TV in the U.S. since 1962 on the Andy Williams Show and then the Jerry Lewis Show. Oh, Lord. That didn't happen, so don't care. 1974, not a Friday the 13th. David Bowie turned down an offer from the Gay Liberation Group to compose the world's first gay national anthem. I didn't know there was a gay national anthem. I didn't look to see if there was one yet. Just saying. 1976, a Friday the 13th, the 101ers featuring Joe Strummer played at the Town Hall, Hampstead, London, and on the same night, Elvis Costello played at the Half Moon in Putney, London, supporting Vivian Stanshall. So both Joe Strummer and Elvis Costello played on Friday the 13th in London near each other's. In 1977, not a Friday the 13th, Julie Covington was #1 on the UK singles chart with Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, taken from the Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Evita. Covington had been in the 1977 UK TV series based on an all-female group called Rock Follies. Madonna had a hit with her version of the song in 1996. That's why I know it, because of Madonna. Okay? Not because of Julie Covington. I don't know who the hell that person is, but I did know Madonna sung it. 1978, not a Friday the 13th. Dire Straits began recording their first album at Basing Street Studios in London. The whole project cost $21,000 to produce. That's nothing. The album, which featured the group's breakthrough single, Sultans of Swing, went on to enjoy a 132-week run on the UK chart. The inspiration for the Sultans of Swing came from Mark Knopfler witnessing a mediocre jazz band playing in the corner of a practically deserted pub. At the end of their performance, the lead singer came up to the microphone and announced they were the Sultans of Swing. Well, you gotta love that. Actually, hi, we're the Sultans of Swing, and we're mediocre at best. 1980, which was not a Friday the 13th, and this one totally should have been that one. Johnny Lydon from the punkest punk band ever, the Sex Pistols, had his house raided by a armed assortment of police officers. He greeted them waving a ceremonial sword. After the intrusion and raid of his home, the only illegal item found was a canister of tear gas, which Lydon claimed to be for defense against intruders. So he met the police with a ceremonial sword. Whatever they were looking for, they didn't find. And he pretty much said, wank off. I love that so much. In 1982, not on Friday the 13th, The Jam became the first band since the Beatles to play 2 numbers at the same edition of Top of the Pops when they performed A Town Called Malice and Precious, their latest double A side number 1. So beating them. Oh, 1982, not a Friday the 13th. The marble slab of the grave from Leonard Skinner singer Ronnie Van Zant was stolen from a cemetery in Orange Park, Florida. Police found it 2 weeks later in a dried up riverbed. Now, if you're going to steal the fucking gravestone from the Leonard Skinner singer Ronnie Van Zant, why would you just chuck it into the river, jackass? I mean, isn't that like to be kept in, like, you know, put in the frat house basement or something? I just don't get that. The willful stealing of it and not keeping it for memorabilia. That doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to steal something, you have to, you know, keep it. Don't ask me. I only work here. Just saying. 1989, not a Friday the 13th. This year's Brit Awards were hosted by Sam Fox and Mick Fleetwood, in which just about everything went wrong. Not on Friday the 13th, though. 1989 was not a Friday the 13th. 87 was, and 98 was, but not 89. Lines were flubbed, and bands miscued on stage. Winners included Phil Collins, who won Best British Male Solo Artist. British Female Solo Artist was Annie Lennox. Erasure won Best British Group. Best British Album went to Fairground Attraction for First of a Million Kisses. British Breakthrough Act was Bros. Michael Jackson won International Male. International Female went to Tracy Chapman. And U2 won Best International Group. This was the last year the show was broadcast live. I guess when you fuck things up enough, you don't go live anymore. I'll have to learn that lesson one of these days. Probably not. Now, 1993, also not a Friday the 13th, but founding member of Musical Youth. Remember Musical Youth? You know the band. If you don't know the name, you're going to in a second. Patrick Waite died at the age of 24 of natural causes. It was a hereditary heart condition, whilst awaiting a court appearance on drug charges. Best remembered, though, was their successful 1982 single, Pass the Dutchie, which became a #1 hit around the world. It was a cover of 2 songs, Gimme the Music by Hugh Brown and Pass the Coochie by Mighty Diamonds, which deals with the recreational use of cannabis, coochie being slang for a cannabis pipe. Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side. Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side. Musical Youth. So yes, you've heard that song. So if you say you didn't, you're lying. Because everyone's heard that stupid song over the years. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. No, I don't care about that. You don't either, I can tell. Trust me. This is brutal. I'm not going to read this thing. I was like, what the fuck, man? This is just people are fucked. That's all I can tell you. All right, this is, again, okay, 1998 was a Friday the 13th, okay? And this is perfect, okay? because anytime I mention the Stone Roses, anything about the Stone Roses always is that they're doing fucked up shit. I don't understand this. I really don't. 1998, Friday the 13th, police at Manchester Airport arrested former Stone Roses singer Ian Brown after an incident during a flight from Paris. During the flight, Brown had an altercation with one of the flight attendants and then started banging on the cockpit door. When the plane landed in Manchester, the police were there to take Brown into custody. Later during his trial, Brown denied using threatening and abusive behavior towards the flight attendant and the captain, but admitted he said to the flight attendant that he would chop her hands off, but insisted it was meant to be a joke. Brown was found guilty in August of 1998, the same year, and jailed for 4 months and banned by British Airways from flying with the airline forever. So there you go. Not a good day for Ian Brown, Friday the 13th. Oh, I think that's the FAFO, right? Fuck around and find out. Bro, don't do stupid shit on airliners. Oh, man, too much. 2002, not a Friday the 13th. American country actor, singer, songwriter Waylon Jennings died in his sleep after a lengthy fight with diabetes. He was the bassist for Buddy Holly, following the breakup of the Crickets. Released a series of duet albums with Willie Nelson in the late 70s, scored the 1980 U.S. number 21 single from the Dukes of Hazzard, Just the Good Old Boys. And he was also the narrator of the television series. He was a member of the Highway One with Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, and Chris Christopherson. Good old Waylon Jennings. 2004, which was a Friday the 13th, Led Zeppelin were awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award at this year's Grammys. Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and Jason Bonham, John Bonham's son, all attended. Robert Plant did not, since he was working on a new album and tour. So there you go. See my connection to John Paul Jones right there. 2005, again, not Friday the 13th. Readers of the UK newspaper The Sun voted George Michael's Careless Whispers as the greatest British pop single of the past 25 years. Oasis came second with Wonderwall, and Kate Bush third with Wuthering Heights. The rest of the top 10, number 4, Robbie Williams, 5, Angels, number 5, The Jam, Going Underground, 6th, Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, and Joy Division, Love Will Tear Us Apart. 7th was Queen, We're the Champions. 9th, The Stone Roses, which this time there was no arrest involved. Fool's Gold, and 10th, The Undertoned Teenage Kicks. 2007, definitely not a Friday the 13th, because Rod Stewart got paid $1 million to perform at a billionaire's birthday bash. He was booked to play 1 hour. 1 hour for $1 million to help Steve Schwartzman celebrate his 60th birthday, held at the New York Park Avenue Armory. Damn. Okay, that's got to be, kind of a record there. $1 million an hour. Yeah, I'm sure that's Rod Stewart was like, yes, thanks so much. Check, please. I am outie. Wow. That's not too shabby. 2012, again, not Friday the 13th. Adele won all 6 categories she was nominated for at this year's Grammy Awards. The Brit singer won Song of the Year, Rolling in the Deep. Also received Grammys for Best Pop Soul Performance for Someone Like You, Best Pop Vocal and Album of the Year for 21, and Record of the Year, and Best Short Form Music Video for Rollin' in the Deep. Damn, Adele. Taking it all. Leaving nothing for nobody. 2013, not a Friday the 13th. Lady Gaga was forced to postpone her world tour of sustaining an injury which left her unable to walk. The singer had severe inflammation of the joints known as synoviotis. Probably butchered that name. Now, this is some crazy shit, okay? 2016, not a Friday the 13th, but the band Viola Beach, an English indie rock band, Chris Leonard, River Reeves, Thomas Lowe, and Jack Dakin, along with their manager, Craig Terry, all died in a car crash in a place in Sweden I can't pronounce. Södertälje. Witnesses said they saw the car fall through a gap on the E4 motorway bridge, which was open to let a boat pass. The band had played at the Where's the Music Festival in Norrköping the previous day. The band had been scheduled to support Blossoms on a tour of the UK and Ireland during February and March of 2016. Man, that's a fucked up way to go. 1 year later, Arriva Buses launched 5 buses in the hometown of Viola Beach in Warrington. Each vehicle had a picture of one of the band's members and their manager. Arriva collaborated with River Reeves Foundation, the organization founded by Reeves' family, to produce the vehicles, one of which would be a mobile recording studio. On the 13th of February 2016, the 4 members and their manager did die in that incident on the E4 motorway bridge in Stockholm, just west of Stockholm, Sweden. That's some crazy shit. Like, how do you not see, like, bridge out? Like, if you're going to go, that's, I guess, a way to go. Yeah, I don't know. Just saying. Shit. Not the way I want to go, just so you know. All right, so completely not musically related. I just was reading through crap today, and I was like, all right. This I found to be hilarious, all right? You can add a new contender to your dating app if you use it. Hypnotherapist and face reader Lori Bell thinks that one facial feature can tip you off to what someone might be like in bed before you even find out the hard way. Bell's focus sits on the lower half of the face. She suggests measuring from the tip of the nose to the tip of the chin, and she links a larger zone to a higher sex drive. In her words, when this area is really, really big, you get someone who is very connected to their animal instincts, fighting and fucking. All of our physical tendencies, including libido, come from this zone. I was like, okay, there you go. There you have it. If your lower face is long or wide and you don't think your libido matches, you might just be repressing it, she said. That's a bold claim to make. So off you go. Go grab a ruler and take a selfie. Oh, Jesus. I just love people. I just do. Oh, fuck. Dude, my dog, what's going on? All right. Born on this day. No, this is a shitload of people. There was a lot of people having sex 9 months ago. George Segal, actor George Segal. He died in 21. He would have been 92. Peter Tork from the Monkees, born on this day, born on Friday the 13th of all days. He died in 19. He would have been 84 today. Peter Gabriel, Shock the Monkey, 76 today. I did listen to Shock the Monkey earlier. I love that song. It is so good. Just saying. Ed Caligardi, a Foreigner, would have been 74 today. He died in 2014. Scott Smithson of Loverboy, 71 today, died in 00. Peter Hook of New Order, 70 years old today. Tony Butler from Big Country, 69 today. In a big country. Mark Fox, haircut 100, also 69 today. Michael Craig, Culture Club, 66 today. Henry Rollins, the man, the myth, the legend, 65 years old today. I can't imagine Henry Rollins collecting Social Security, but apparently he can now. Les Wagner of the Cult, Firewoman, 65 years old today. And Robbie Williams, 52. Jerry Springer, who was the mayor of Cincinnati at one point. Jerry Springer would have been 82 today. He died in 2023. I did not know he was born in London, England. I had no idea. Again, wrinkle my fucking brain today. Stockard Channing from Greece, 82 today. Joe Estevez, who is the brother of Martin Sheen and from Dayton, Ohio, of all things, 80 years old today. David Naughton, who was David Kessler in An American Werewolf in London, the lead of that movie, 75 today. Neil Donovan, Minority Report and Suits, if you saw Suits. He's that white-haired guy. It's kind of got that round face, 60 years old. And Mina Servina from American Beauty, 47 years old today. That was the young woman that was being lusted over by our creepy man that we now know is probably wasn't lusting over her. Anyway, died today, David Jansen. He died at the age of 49 in 1980. He was the fugitive in the movie or in the TV show The Fugitive. Martin Balsam, he was in Psycho, 12 Angry Men. He died at the age of 76 in 1996. Ralph Waite, who was the Papa on the Walton, died at the age of 85 on 14. And then Richard Wagner. Now, Richard Wagner died in 1883, but you know who he is. If you're like, oh my God, who is this? He's a classic music composer, but you know his songs because The Flight of the Valkyrie is that song in Apocalypse Now that's dun 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 dun. Also, he did Enter the Gods of Valhalla, is the song that they played in the movie Prometheus when the android basically was like going into where all the aliens were, and he was like, Enter the Gods of Valhalla. And he plays that big booming opera. Again, that's Richard Wagner. So, Flight of the Valkyrie and Enter of the Gods into Valhalla. So there you go. There's your music stuff. And it's all on Friday the 13th. And I talked about why Friday the 13th is, why people are afraid of Friday the 13th and what the reason is. So if you want to know, I can just tell you once again, Friday the 13th. And it goes back like seriously far. So this is why it's so ingrained in people. It goes back to a few things. Norse myth, because there was 12 gods having a dinner party at Valhalla, which we just talked about, Valhalla, Richard Wagner. And the trickster Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest. And he arranged for Hor, the goddess of darkness, to shoot Balder, the god of joy and gladness, with mistletoe arrows, and killing Balder, triggering much suffering in the world, which caused that number 13 to become unlucky. Also, at the crucifixion, Jesus' Last Supper, there was 13 individuals present in the upper room on the 13th, which was Nisan Maudi, which was Thursday, the night before his death on Good Friday. And also, it's considered unlucky because the Knights Templar in 1307 were arrested on Friday, October 13th by officers of King Philip IV of France. And the origin of Friday the 13th superstition, they believe, could come from that as well. So there you go. That's why Friday the 13th is so unlucky. So it goes back to every religion we know. It goes back to Norse religion. It goes back to Christianity. It goes back to the Knights Templar. I mean, there's a whole bunch of crazy shit that goes on with that. I even found that Friday is more likely to have the There's more Fridays in a year just by a couple than any other day, which is weird if you think about it. In any like 400-year cycle, there's 685 Mondays, like 13 weeks, days, blah, blah. But 685 Mondays, 685 Tuesdays, 687 Wednesdays, 684 Thursdays, 688 Fridays, 684 Saturdays, 687 Sundays. So there are actually more Fridays if you distribute it over the 4,800 months in 400 years. So you can have more Friday the 13th. So that's why. Don't ask me, why do I find this stupid shit interesting? Because I find stupid shit interesting sometimes. Wrinkle your brain. That's all we can do. Wrinkle our brains. Right? Dude with dogs in the house. What up, dude with dog? We got Madison. And we got Silent. Shh, Silent. So that's what's going on. That's the happening. Questions, comments, concerns, anything? I was glad nothing bad happened so far today. I mean, it's, I got a few more minutes, but I don't plan on doing anything that would allow for me to be mortally wounded or bad lucked. I ate nothing that I believe poisoned me today. I didn't walk in under any ladders. I did see a black cat, but I did not cross its path. I let it on its way. Be gone with you, black cat. I didn't break any mirrors, except for when I looked at it, my lovely visage may have cracked the mirror. But that's about it. So hopefully you had a good Friday the 13th and not a bad one. And hopefully your day went well. And tomorrow's Saturday, Valentine's Day. So happy early Valentine's Day. If you don't have a Valentine, sorry. I'm sorry for you. And, go treat yourself nice. Go eat some chocolate. Go out to breakfast. Just do something nice for yourself if nobody else is doing it for you. Fuck them. That's the way it works. Just fuck them all. And I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll do this all again. I do this every night at 11 o'clock. Okay? This is episode 257. 257. So I've been doing this now for close to a year, every single damn day. If I did it weekly, I'd be on like year 5. So, this is my 5th year of doing this. It's not. It's not. It's my first. But there would be many more as long as I can help it. I don't know if I'll do every 11 o'clock because, as concert season kicks back, I may not be as thorough as I'm doing it from my phone at 11 o'clock, scrambling with screaming fans in the background and everything else, but I'll do my best. Promise. All right. So, change cameras. We'll come over here. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Dude with dog, Madison, user 849-170-8766642, Silent, Abai, and Ryan. Thanks for being here. Up, Ryan's like, don't say my name. Out of there. Some people like shout outs. Some people, no, don't say my name. It's the way it works. All right. So from my studio basement, in my little space surrounded by my toys and tools, I fairly well want to say thank you and appreciate you and grateful for you being here tonight. So I'll look for you again. Like I said, I do this every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from good old Columbus, Ohio. Thank you. Until we meet again, I will in fact say it one more time. Fade to black.